everybody, it's Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man. If you want to have a priceless experience, then you'll stay tuned to Mega Powers Radio. And remember, everybody's got a price for the $1 Million Man.
Shut up.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Monday Night Raw post show here at Mega Powers Radio for the May 4th, 2015 edition of Monday Night Raw. As you can tell, this isn't Mike Paden, your usual host for the evening. The leader of the Drew crew is stepping up in his absence. That's right, Drew White is the official host of Mega Powers Radio and Monday Night Raw post show. Even though Tony doesn't let me host Smack Talk, I get this for one night only. So come on, be ready for the event of a lifetime. And you're joining us, the most interactive and attractive post-Raw experience around on the internet. That's right. Everyone out here, come on. And I am joined by two other people who are here usual. Before we get into that and the goodness of talking this, you could join the conversation. As I said, this is the most interactive post-Raw experience by phone. If you call in, and the number is 713-955-0363, or you can use the Skype icon at the top of the page on Block Talk Radio and Mega Powers Radio, depending on what you use and what you wanted to do. And also, if you're in the chat room, you can join us via that and talk with some cool cats in there. We already have a few. Like I said, Ferris419, Chaotic, we got a couple usuals, the Silent Wind of Meh, and Wazili. And if any guests out there that join in, there's none right now, but hey, if you join in, this is what you do. Go to the top of the screen, log in, create an account, and you can join others, and I'll give you a cool shout out. And now I will introduce our guests and for the evening. First, we got the leader of Smack Talk and Smart Out Moment and Fanboys Anonymous. We have a Tony, a Mango.
Everybody there?
Yeah, he introduced you. He introduced you, and you were silent.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I didn't hear Drew introduce me.
Oh my God, Tony. Anyways, this is already off to a fantastic start. We don't need Mike Paden around here, and you ruined everything that we had going for us. So screw you. And now we have Stephen Wago, who is the leader of Wago Rants and Addicted to Anime and UDMMA. So what's up, Stephen?
I'm doing good, and make sure you check out the newest episode of Wago Rants now on YouTube, iTunes, and Stitcher Radio.
That's right. I did listen to it earlier today. A great episode. If you want to listen to John Jones or James Jones, whatever the hell his name is, UFC stuff, not my big idea, but boxing. Hey, go listen to it. It's a great little podcast he does on his side. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about Raw. And tonight's episode was a really good episode, in my opinion. I know in the past couple weeks we've had very meh, silent wind of meh episodes of Raw. However, this was a very good episode of Raw. And I'm going to start off with you two. Tony, what was the one thing you took away from tonight's episode?
If the crowd is kind of, being a little bit of like, I guess you could call them jerks. If you're talented enough, you can turn them around.
And he's alluding to Ryback, of course, Ryback. The Goldberg chance that he gets. And John Cena, actually, that's another good point. I would have mentioned it later, but those two, especially John Cena probably get the worst of the two. I know the Goldberg chants have been around for a couple years, but they were getting John Cena with the John Cena sucks chant for like a solid minute before he was able to start his promo. And both of them were able to turn it around. I think Ryback's was weird because it was kind of quiet. It wasn't like loud Goldberg chants, but they're, clearly audible. And it was able to turn them around with the Feed Me More chants. So, yeah, that's a good point. The crowd tonight was lively in Montreal, Canada, by the way. And, apparently Bret Hart makes an appearance. I think that was obvious. But, hey, what do you think, Steven? What was the one thing you took away from tonight's episode?
Dean Ambrose vs. Seth Rollins was an awesome match. This show had awesome wrestling for the most part. Pretty much all the segments fell flat for me, but good wrestling tonight.
I think we all can be in agreement on that. Tony, what do you think about that?
I think that this whole show was overall really solid. I gonna kind of spoil something. I don't really have an ugly for tonight, and the bad is kind of a half-assed version of a bad. I thought that if anything fell flat, it was still kind of like good flat. It wasn't anything bad. The Dean Ambrose match was awesome, and the improvement that they did for Payback by adding him in there, that's definitely one of the best things that has happened. So I'm giving this a big thumbs up.
I don't see how you can have an ugly. I mean, we saw Tamina's face on camera tonight.
This is
To be
a
fair,
good point.
to be fair, I was looking out of the corner of my eye when that happened, so I didn't fully see it.
Oh, so what you're saying is you weren't paying attention. God damn it, Tony, you're supposed to be paying attention.
Well, you already know he's not paying attention. Didn't even fucking answer when you asked his name.
So anyways, okay, what's
That's
going
right, Paden.
Exactly. Oh yeah, and also Mike Paden will be. He said he will be popping up eventually. He won't provide much tonight, but he will be on. So for all of you who are Paden holics out there and need some Michael Paden, he'll be here. So calm your tits. You'll be fine. So let's go ahead and start this off at the top of the show, because a lot of stuff happened tonight. A lot of good stuff, by the way. Not a lot of ugly. A lot of good. But we started off with Orton coming out, cutting a promo, essentially saying, "Hey, Roman Reigns, I don't want to. I want Rollins, but I might have to kick your ass too." And then Reigns comes out, says the same thing. But what really saves this segment for the most part, because it was kind of going nowhere, is the New Day. The New Day comes out, gives us why they're the New Day. It's a new day. Drop some good one-liners on the two. And here's the thing. I think the New Day have turned a corner as a heel tag team, essentially, because later in the night, as a running gag thread tonight, whenever they're backstage, you'll see the New Day celebrating because they ended up winning their match between Orton and Reigns, as it was a 2-on-3 match. But for the most part, when it comes to the New Day, they were spot on tonight. And even Xavier Woods, who might be considered the weakest member of the New Day, was spot on as well. Even with his wrestling, it wasn't anything spectacular, but it was still good enough to keep me entertained because Xavier Woods hasn't been able to do that in the past. So, and then after this, we go into a match between the New Day and Orton and Reigns. Just above average match, not much to talk about when it comes to that. But, the New Day gets a win after Reigns spears Orton on accident after Kofi got away. So between you two, what did you guys think of the opening segment and the match that it led into?
I think the New Day had a very solid opening tonight, and they've won me over a lot with their promo tonight. They were very comical, and kind of like it actually reminded somewhat of ourselves when we're like laughing at stupid jokes that only we find funny. So I connected with them on that level. I'm glad they beat Randy Orton and Roman Reigns. I'm an advocate for 9 times out of 10. That too. Fuck, you've lost train of what's gone now. I'm an advocate for the numbers game winning, because far too often have we seen Randy Orton beat fucking Cesaro and Kid when they're tag team champions, and we didn't see that tonight. So it makes me feel that they want to push the New Day, and it also makes me feel that push the New Day. That's all I got.
No, I will agree with you on that. It looked
fucking Tony.
I will agree with you when it comes to the New Day. It looks, because like you said, I think a couple weeks ago, Randy Orton beat both Cesaro and Kid, and that really annoyed me because they're supposed to be the tag team champions. How is one supposed to be able to beat two in that sort of situation? It made those two look weak.
Because however, two is better than one.
Of course.
It gets even more confusing when somebody beats Seth Rollins, because apparently, according to Shaun, he's the champions.
Oh, of course. I mean, no one should be able to. He holds every WWE championship belt in history. He should come out with every edition of it, every one, even the undisputed, Attitude Era, and all. But when it comes to the New Day, they did a good job making them look strong tonight and making them look like an actual tag team. And I know it was a 2-on-3 and I forget what that rule is called. I know one of you guys know it when you use all 3 members of a stable as tag team champions. But I kind of liked what they did.
Oh, and I know the word.
Talking about the Freebird rule?
Yeah, I forgot what it was. I mean, it should be the Fitbird rule. You know what I'm saying? Damn, Shaun, why can't you be here to make that joke? But yeah, for the most part, I liked what they did, and it made sense how they did everything anyways with Reigns spearing Orton, because what? These two fucking can't tag team together. Come on. But in all, like I said, it was a great opening segment. And moving on to the next part, we had Rollins backstage with Kane, and Kane announces essentially that Rollins will face Ambrose later in the night as Rollins as the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. He should not have a night off. He also bans J&J security from ringside, and that play has that doesn't even play in effect because they ended up showing up later on in that match. Anyways, but pretty much Kane and it's just his usual stuff. Kane and Rollins just not seen eye to eye. Do either of you have anything to say about that?
Fucking hate the storyline. I do not like Kane's involvement, and I think it's just due to me seeing the Kane character too much. Very boring on his part. And he's trying, but what are you going to do with chicken shit? You ain't going to make chicken salad.
No, I think the best way to do it is like if you have a shit sandwich and you put like I don't know sprinkles on it, it doesn't make it a delicious shit sandwich at all. I'm stealing some of that Tony said for a review that he did for Fastlane, by the way, because why not?
I don't think it was a shit sandwich. I think it was a shit sundae.
Sunday, yeah, my bad. Whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what sprinkles you put on a shit sundae. It's still a shit sundae.
What the fuck would you put sprinkles on a sandwich?
And I think Shaun,
that's why it's like it didn't make any sense.
all right, but anyways, after this, we go to a break. We come back. Renee Young is in the ring, introduces Ryback, and this is where we talk about we mentioned the Ryback thing. Like the crowd they weren't against Ryback, but you have like those asshole fans who still do the Goldberg chant, even though we're 3 years past when that was even legible as like, oh, haha, that was funny. Way past that, Ryback was able to turn that around. He addressed it. He usually never addressed the Goldberg chants, but he addressed it tonight because it was obviously bothering him and what he was doing. He was able to turn it around in the Feed Me More chants. But anyways, he went on about how he faced fear every day. He's not afraid of Bray Wyatt, turns negativity into positivity, and he's always hungry. And then Wyatt interrupts via Titantron, stealing something from The Rock's book. It says Ryback paints himself as an untouchable force, but he can see beneath the surface that he's a scared little boy, afraid that people will see through his facade and his failures. So I kind of like what they're going for with this. And I know leading up to this, we didn't know who Bray Wyatt was talking about. We had an idea of a couple people. I know Ryback was one of them, and I know Roman Reigns was another. But I kind of like what they're doing with this. And I actually think that this might be a sleeper hit when we get to Fastlane when it comes to actual match quality. But I kind of like what they're doing. And I know we haven't got a real confrontation other than Wyatt doing his sister Abigail on to Ryback. But I kind of like what they're going for with this whole storyline. What do you guys think?
I'm not too into it.
Of course, you're cynical, Tony. Go.
Bray Wyatt's more than this kind of thing. If he's really going to be that, like, you can tell that WWE values Bray Wyatt a lot more than a lot of actual fans do. And that's fine if it works out in the end. But as much as I like Ryback's not going to be the guy to get him to that level. And if you just have Ryback get sacrificed to Bray Wyatt for the hell of it, Ryback deserves better than that too. I don't think that these two are going to have a great feud together. I don't think that they're going to have a great match together. It could be better than what I'm expecting, but I'm not expecting all that much. And I think that this is going to be one of those, like, I guess it's going to be like a determining factor of whether or not Payback is good, because the position of the card that this is going to be on could help dictate how the rest of the pay-per-view goes. If this is too early on in the night and it sucks, then this is going to be a real uphill battle for everything else coming after that. If it's later on and it goes right before the main event, that might hinder that. But who knows? Maybe they'll end up pulling it off.
I was pissed off with this segment just because we've not heard the Goldberg chants in a long time. Probably not since his heel turn. And this was disappointing. Ryback's a guy that's genuinely got better, not only on the microphone, but in his character and in the ring. He's not a guy that the Smarks should be shitting on. He's a genuine guy that's trying. And he's right, he does see fear every day, because every time he's with Daniel Bryan and they go to Panera Bread, he shits himself.
Man, I could go for some Panera Bread right now.
Ryback couldn't, he fucking hates that place. True story. True. This is the part where he's do the next bit.
Anyways, guys. Well, you started talking. I didn't know if you were going to continue because I almost interrupted you. But anyways, in time, friends, so will you run. And that's how Wyatt ends it. Next up, we had Kid Zaro versus the Ascension. This was a very quick match, not much to it. The Ascension controls the tempo early on. Cesaro gets the hot tag. And the thing that really made this match was that Cesaro, he gets the hot tag, and then he throws one, I forget which member of the Ascension, but he does his thing where he just does an Irish whip into the turnbuckle, does the uppercut, and he does this repeatedly over 10 times, like nonstop. And this was really fun to watch. And then afterwards, does a flip over the ropes onto, I think, Connor, who was on the outside, and then they finish the match with the swing into the little drop kick that Cesaro does. So they get the win. And I know the Ascension. I think I predicted in our little thing that the Ascension would win, and I'm an idiot for saying that. But I thought this was a great quick match. You know, it highlighted Kid Cesaro, and also it might. I don't know if this cements them as a face team quite yet. But I do like what they're going for with them. I think these guys can thrive. And actually, Cesaro got a great crowd reaction tonight when he was doing the uppercuts into the corners. So who knows? What do you guys think about this?
Can we stop calling them Kidzaro?
No. Well, we could call them the Brass Knuckle Club if you want to. Or the Brass Ring.
Club. I mean, if they came out with brass knuckles and just started beating the shit out of people, I'd be okay with that. What can you say? Fucking Cesaro's great as always and underappreciated as always. Same song and dances every week. He delivers and the WWE don't push him. It's sad and kind of shows how much Connor and Victor are devalued because when someone brings up Connor in the WWE, I immediately think of Connor the Crusher over Connor the Wrestler.
At least you're not thinking of his old gimmick where he was the rat.
Oh, of course. Talk about he does look like a rat. I will give you that one. So maybe that should be his gimmick. Except he would have to steal it from Seth Rollins because Seth Rollins is like every disgusting animal nowadays.
So was it Connor that was in that shitty season of NXT with the mustache guy?
Season 2 was at the season. He was in the season that Derek Bateman was in.
Oh,
that was season 3. Or season 4? Fuck. No, wait. God, man. I only remember who was in season 1 for sure. And Alex Riley was in season 2.
Yeah.
What's he? What do you mean David Otunga was in season 1 and that was the last time we see on television?
I think the Divas were the 3rd season.
That's right, because season 4 was that redemption thing where they dragged it on for like 2.5 years.
No. Yeah.
That show lost its identity by the end.
That was the one where I think Johnny Curtis won or something.
Johnny Curtis won anything?
Or did he win season 2?
He won
season 2. No, Caval won season 2.
Oh,
so was there a season 4 and then they did redemption? Or did Johnny Curtis never win?
No, he won. Maybe the redemption was 5. Shit, I don't know. Whatever the point was, NXT sucked. That's basically
pretty much. Yeah.
But no, he was the rat gimmick and his trainer, mentor guy, whatever they referred to that as, was Alberto Del Rio, and it was fucking terrible.
It would have been better if it was Primo, because that would have been such a weird ass team right there.
Primo ended up being with AJ.
They should just give it to Ricardo instead of Alberto. Fuck me, Alberto sucked.
He still knows himself.
I was about to say that.
And anyways,
it's a shame that the Ascension have gone so far downhill, though, because I think that they were a good team in NXT, the good NXT, not the old one, but they have like no value right now in WWE, and I think that that's partially because of the timing. WWE put them in like the worst possible spot you can possibly ever debut. It never works if you bring somebody in around the Royal Rumble. There's never enough time to build you up.
I don't think it was the timing. I think it was, hey, you see these new guys? Let's have a bunch of people that don't wrestle anymore kick the fuck out of them.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know. I was never a fan of the Ascension. All of their matches were short jobber matches. They never impressed me. I feel like the only reason people got behind them was because, hey, these guys have a cool gimmick. And that's really about it.
That's how they established All-Stars in the old days. You beat a bunch of jobbers each week, and it worked for them. But then they came to WWE, and they were booked in an entirely different way, and they died. I don't mind that they died, because I thought they were fucking awful.
To be fair, I do like their little like backstage promos that they do when they show them walking to the ring. I do enjoy that for the most part. That's at least they give them some type of character when they do that. And honestly, I don't blame them being buried on those two. I blame on the fucking commentary team because they shit all over them for some reason. And
Yeah, but that was a part of that
really-
storyline where they lost to all the old guys. It's one and the same.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, we were supposed to get Stardust and Goldust at WrestleMania, and that never happened.
Yeah, because they
So-
fucked up.
Yeah, but I don't think the Ascension really fucked up. I think that was more on booking's fault than it was those two. Because honestly, if you kept on putting them in front of me each week, I would have caught on and I would have liked them. But it just got to the point where I just couldn't do it anymore.
I couldn't do it anymore as soon as I had that stupid red face paint.
Good point. But anyways, for those that we have yet to get a call yet, so if any of you guys want to call into the show, you can call on via phone. The number is 713-955-0363, or you can call in on Skype using the Skype logo at the top of the screen. And as right as I say that, shit, we do get a call. I guess when you actually do promote stuff, it actually happens. So this caller is from the 954. Caller, what's your name and where are you calling from? Where are you calling from? Oh, well, he left.
That was
That was
okay.
the
He was a douchebag anyway.
Anyways, if any of you guys want to call that guy, his number is 954-389-2830. Anyways, moving on from that. Next up, we had Seth Rollins backstage, was walking around. Renee comes up to him, and then Rollins says that the match is stupid and Kane is a moron. And that really is about it from it. Oh, by the way, if for all of you guys who don't know, I couldn't even hear that guy. He said something, but no one cares. After that, we had Ambrose and Rollins in a fantastic match. However, before the match started, Kane comes out and says that if Ambrose wins the match, Ambrose will be slotted into the main event, WWE World Heavyweight Championship match at Fastlane, and it will be a fatal four-way at that point. And that really added a lot to the match because I think we all knew Ambrose was going to lose up until that point. So hey, the match was great. These guys have put on great matches in the past, and they kept that going with another great match here tonight. And Ambrose got the win. And I know J&J Security were banned from ringside, and they ended up interfering at one point, but Ambrose still got the roll-up. And the roll-up was actually the finisher of the night, because I think that was the most what the most wins came out of. But yeah, it was just a fantastic match. Ambrose picked up the victory, and now we have a fatal four-way. So what do you guys think about that, and what's happening?
Fantastic match, awful fucking ending. Why on earth do you ban someone from ringside if they're just going to come out anyway? In fact, if you had them, it just made that whole segment make no sense. If they were out there anyway and they tried that shit, it would have just looked awesome for Ambrose overcoming the odds. So, I don't know. I wasn't happy with that. But the match itself was fantastic. Easily match of the night. And I'm not a big fan of Randy Orton or Roman Reigns so much because I've had my fill of them right now, at least in the main event scene. So having Dean Ambrose in there is different and hopefully elevates the feud a bit.
Very good match. Definitely agree with everything Wago said. Ambrose has been getting the shit end of the stick for far too long. He deserves to be in the main event, and hopefully this will make him go back on track and maybe even lead to a Money in the Bank.
That's actually a good point because, after this, after Payback, we do have Money in the Bank. And I know it's too soon because I know we'll end up talking about that eventually. But Dean Ambrose is obviously going to be one of the people in the Money in the Bank ladder match. And he should be considered a favorite going into this. I think this might be Dean Ambrose's year. I know the past year wasn't really a good year for him. He lost every big feud he had, lost every singles match he had on a pay-per-view, but hey, he beat Luke Harper at Extreme Rules. He picked up a win here on Raw. And now, hey, look, he's in the main event. Something I know a lot of people will be happy of. I don't hate Dean Ambrose, but I'm not a huge fan of him. I like the guy. So I want to see what he could do in the main event. Because because we always thought that Dean Ambrose was going to be the standout. Roman Reigns would be a good person to have, and Rollins would be the weak link after the Shield ended. And it's been quite the opposite. We had Rollins and Reigns both being the face of the company since then, and Dean Ambrose just kind of sliding off, not really meaning much to the company. So, hey, I'm glad to see this. I think having him add something to this, because I thought this was going to be a great match anyways, but this adds a lot to the match if you had me. Make it a fatal four-way. And, I'm gonna really enjoy this. So, do you guys have anything else to say on this?
I'm going to enjoy the match itself. The only thing that I'm worried about now, take a look at the 3 guys that Seth Rollins faced. He has had long feuds with each and every one of them. They're getting to the point where I've seen enough of him fighting each one of those guys. After this, I don't want to see him in a title match with any one of them. I don't know who you put in that spot. I wouldn't be against John Cena being the guy, because really Seth and him haven't done too much together. But otherwise, I'm unsure what direction to go.
I tell you what I think is going to happen. Might change, and my predictions might change in the next week or so. But I'm thinking Money in the Bank. We have Kane versus Seth Rollins, because the Money in the Bank's the selling point. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, you can have that go on last.
Yeah, and then SummerSlam, Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins.
I believe
hope-
they have Battleground in between as well.
Do they?
Yeah, they did that last year. So unless they don't have a pay-per-view in July, I think that will be.
That's
the
right.
July
July. Yeah,
pay-per-view.
I'm thinking that SummerSlam is whatever. Yeah, maybe it would just be another match with Kane, or maybe it would be.
No, they could always like find someone, maybe bring someone back. Maybe, I don't know. The Rock. I'm just kidding. That's not gonna happen. But like John Cena's a good guy that they could throw in there. But you do bring up a good point. There's not really many people that they have on the main roster right now as like a legitimate face that could go up against Seth after this Fatal 4. We mentioned Kane, but other than those two, I really can't think of any unless you elevate like someone from the mid card area. Maybe Dolph Ziggler possibly is someone that they could throw in there if they don't have any plans for him.
You have to give it to Dolph or Ryback. They're the only other 2 options out there, unless you turn somebody face. They'll probably just use someone out of the Fatal 4-Way or Kane. I just don't want to see it.
Kane, Seth Rollins doesn't interfere too. That doesn't struck a chord with me at all. But anyways, the 954 guy's back, so I'm gonna bring him on one more time, see what he has. So 954, you're live. What is up?
Yo, it's me. It's DDP. Okay. Hello. Yes, my name is Patrick.
Hey, it's Patrick.
So,
What up?
Yeah,
buddy?
he smoked a bunch of weed before he came on here.
It's Rick.
Okay, sure. All right. Okay. Yeah, Monday Night Raw was actually a very good show. Yeah, I thought the end was horrible. So but clearly, Dean Ambrose, he actually does deserve it because he actually does deserve it. Like he's lost every major feud he's had. So so yeah, I think he deserves to be in there. He deserves to be a Fatal 4-Way, and it's funny because 3 guys. There's it's almost gonna be the minus Randy Orton. It's almost gonna be like a Shield reunion because there's Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and Seth Rollins, and then yeah, but it was a horrible finish, but it was a good show. Raw, Montreal was amazing. Oh my gosh, yeah.
I think a lot of people have been wanting to see the triple threat Shield feud. Eventually, I don't think we're going to get that this year. That might be something we see more, maybe at a WrestleMania thing. But something we talked about was we just talked before you came on. Who do you think is someone that will go up against Seth Rollins after Payback as someone to feud with going into Money in the Bank and Battleground?
Ooh, I don't know. It could be maybe Kane, but I don't know something. Yeah, there could Roman Reigns. I don't really know. I'm gonna say Kane, and then a Battleground. I don't know because supposedly yeah Schuler has Brock Lesnar. It was SummerSlam. It will be. I have a feeling that it's going to be a repeat of last year with because it's going to be Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins. Because one thing I heard is that Seth Rollins will hold on to the title and then drop it at SummerSlam. But I have a feeling it's going to be a repeat of last year where Brock Lesnar wins the title at SummerSlam and then only drops it at WrestleMania. But I'm gonna say Kane, somewhere after Payback, probably either Money in the Bank or maybe the Battleground pay-per-view.
All right, so Patrick, a few other things. We had What did you think about the Ryback promo that they did?
Oh well, it was pretty good. Like, you know, the biggest thing I really didn't like is like Bray Wyatt was doing these promos, and all those promos are for Ryback. Well, I understand that they have nothing to do for both these guys, but but if they're gonna have a match, like, you do realize that, like, oh, both men need to win. They both need to win. Whoever loses will hurt all their momentum. But like, when I first saw the first promo, the first thing actually only the thought of two guys seem to be talking about. One, Randy Orton, and two, Roman Reigns. But no, like, seriously, I was a little bit disappointed that in all those promos he was talking about Ryback. But really.
Nah, but anyways, one more thing I want to talk about with you before we take another call here is, tonight was actually the debut for someone from NXT, and we'll get more into that later on. But I wanted to get your opinion on it because of the John Cena U.S. Open Challenge. You know, Bret Hart comes out Montreal, you know, a big place for him, and he introduced a fellow Montrealian, Canadian, and it turns out to be Sami Zayn. What did you think about that?
He's amazing. Sami Zayn, he's amazing. NXT, there's this really have like I could just see like a bunch of NXT champions just coming out and answering the challenge. Like, you know, like I could see who knows, like what if was like I could see John Cena answering an open challenge, and who comes out? Kevin Owens, or like who comes out? Hideo Itami, Finn Balor, that was really good getting a bunch of, because about the NXT wrestlers, the one question that we all have been wondering is, when is he going to be on the main roster? You know?
Ooh, I don't know. What do you think? What is your opinion on that?
It was good. It was amazing. You know, amazing. Also, I didn't even realize how hurt Sami Zayn was. I didn't even know that was a cast on his arm or something. But like, he wrestled good. You know, he performed the finisher amazing. Of course, with Bret Hart introducing him in Montreal, Montreal, Quebec. It was amazing. Also I like how John Cena. John Cena was trying to make the U.S. title more better, like more approving, more relevant by being a fighting champion and by defending the title every week.
All right, so I got a couple more questions to ask you before you go. But the first thing, what was your high point and low point of the evening, Rick?
Okay, high point would have to be I liked the main event. It was pretty good, but the finish was horrible. And the low point would probably be Also, the low point would probably have to be the Divas. It's like, supposedly, I think, Nikki Bella, was it a Divas title match? I can't remember, but, like, I suppose that she was supposed to wrestle Naomi, but the match never even started, and she's like, and also, we saw the return of Tamina Snuka, but then, other than that, I thought that was bad.
All right. And one more thing before we head out on you, sir, from the chat room, someone wants to know, where do you get your t-shirts from?
WWEshop.com. It doesn't really matter.
Ooh, WWEshop.com. It's a great place. So anyways, thank you, Silent Wind of Meh, for the question. And thank you, Prick, for being here with us. Hey, have a good night, and we'll see you next week.
All right.
Anyways, guys, we are back. And we're here to talk about the Monday Night Raw post. If you want to call in, you can call in via phone at 713-955-0363, or you can call in on Skype using the Skype logo above on the page. And for those of you in the chat, hey, if you're not registered as a member of the chat room, hey, go make an account at the top. As you see, there's a little logo. You can go create an account, and I'll give you a shout out. We have a few people in there. We got Creepers on the radar, Ferris419. We have a guest, and I was saying that to you, guest. So go make an account like right now. JT77 just joined. We got Chaotic. We got Tony, Wago, the Silent Winner, Met, and Wazili here in the room tonight. So anyways, moving on from that segment, we had Dean Ambrose and them, and we just had a Kane segment backstage. You know, Kane, you know, I think a lot of his show was Kane and Rollins, and I don't think we really need to talk about that for the most part. But after this, we had Byron Saxton backstage with Lana, and then Saxton was asking how it feels to be such a positive reaction from the WWE universe. You know, Lana says some stuff, and then Fandango comes out, cuts her off, and says she has to feel it within her. Something about to see with the WWE Universe accepting her, and then Rusev comes out over and starts shouting at her. And then we had Rusev versus Fandango, and this match wasn't really much until we get to Fandango out of the ring. In one of my favorite spots of the night, Fandango got Lana to start doing the Fandango dance, which was incredibly hot, by the way, may I add. And also, just like her reaction to it, she played that off very well. So I want to give kudos to her. So, Tony, what did you think about all of this?
I like the idea that Fandango's really solidifying his babyface turn. I like that Rusev is a dick, because he should be. He's a heel. And if Lana's going to get over with the crowd, then she needs to keep doing babyface stuff like this. That got a good reaction for her, so that's a step in the right direction. It's a shame that Rusev didn't lose, though.
Oh, I know. That just ruined the whole night for you, didn't it?
Sure.
What about you, Wago? Did it ruin your night when Rusev won?
No, I'm fine with it because I get points regardless. And
good.
as far as Lana goes, I'm actually enjoying her character. She's playing it off very well. That she feels kind of awkward about how the fans are reacting, but she likes it. And I cracked up when she was fandangoing with Fandango. So overall, the match was what it was. It was a squash match, but by no means a bad one because Fandango can do what John Cena needs to learn: sell.
And also, you said it was a squash match. It was, but also it was a squash match that was good and it had meaning to it. And I think that's when squash matches are at its best. It set a point. It did something with a storyline, and it just Fandango didn't do much, but hey, he'll get his comeuppance eventually. After this, we had Stardust versus R-Truth, and Stardust comes out with a bag covered in stars, and a lot of questions were asked about what was in this bag. We found out in the match as both of them struggled to get the bag throughout the match. R-Truth finally gets it, and what was in the bags? It was rubber spiders. Scares R-Truth senseless. Stardust gets to roll up, and there we go. And that was the end of the match. I was actually laughing way too hard at this. I thought this was incredibly good. And I'm not lying. This was too fucking funny for me because R-Truth has arachnophobia. However, the thing about this, my stepdad was watching it with me, and he thought this was fucking stupid. He's never liked wrestling, but he understands it. He's like, oh, what the fuck's up with this? And I was just like, hey, don't ruin my fun, man. Come on, it's fucking funny. And also, just like R-Truth selling it was the best part about this. So not much to this match other than that. What did you guys think?
I was pissed off when it wasn't a bedazzled Damien. I'm expecting snakes when I see bags now. That'll thumbtacks.
Or Rey Mysterio's mask.
What about a paper bag?
I don't get the reference.
Remember when Kane came out with that mask? He had like the bag and everybody thought it was his own mask and shit, and ended up being like a big thing, and then they brought back the mask anyway in the future because they were like, oh shit, people wanted that.
Oh, I vaguely remember, but then
it was shit. That's why.
yeah.
So what you're saying is Kane needs to wear a Rey Mysterio mask.
Kane should wear a mask made out of spiders. And that way, if he ever fights R-Truth, then he automatically wins. Well, Kane's going to be cast as the new Spider-Man is where I'm going.
That or he should have a bedazzled Damien.
Either way.
Oh, yeah. After this, we had the John Cena U.S. Open Challenge. A very good point, as we said at the top of the show. The crowd was very against Cena. The John Cena sucks chant was throughout, but it goes on for about a minute. But John Cena says, and here's the thing: the whole point of that little promo was Cena going, "Hey, I'm not a quitter, but I'm going to say I quit at the top of the promo." Oh, so he does quit. He said it. But anyways, throughout his promo, the old late chant was starting. So it was as if the fans knew that Sami Zayn was going to be there and come out, which he eventually does. He ends up being the one accepting the challenge. But I really enjoyed the promo because, hey, it got the crowd was against him. He got the crowd to be with them eventually. And John Cena knew what he was talking about. He somehow was able to turn that around for him. So that was very good. And eventually it led to him calling out, the person who was going to come out and accept the challenge. And Bret Hart came out. And I knew Bret Hart was going to show up eventually because he always shows up in Montreal. But I was really confused, and I was really hoping Bret Hart wasn't about to wrestle a match. But he says he was going to introduce someone. Then Heath Slater comes out with a Macklemore haircut, interrupts, says that he's been screwed over with out of nowheres with the RKO, and he gets hit in the head with Mike. And we get Sami Zayn coming out, and the crowd just goes crazy. Sami Zayn makes his debut on the main roster, and we go into the match. It was a good match. They did a stoppage for a minute because it looked like Sami Zayn got injured with a shoulder after a side drop that Cena gave. So don't know if that was storyline or if he actually did get injured, but he finished the match anyways. And a lot of people will say that this match should be a lot better because of the quality of the workers in there. You say that, but this is like the first time Sami Zayn and Cena really got in there. So maybe the chemistry wasn't all the way there yet, but it was still a good match. It showcased Sami Zayn well. He looked like a competitor in there, and he kicked out of a AA, which everyone does nowadays, but it still was incredible. So what did you guys think about it?
As far as the quality of this match goes, I don't think it has anything to do with chemistry as much as they had a lot of blown spots. For instance, when he did the Attitude Adjustment and he landed on his ass instead of his feet.
There was a couple matches in the match as well.
And this is going to go back to the Ambrose and Rollins match, but poor job on commentary tonight, guys. When these guys fuck up, it's your job to cover it. The moment, did you see the spot where Seth did the flying knee and it totally missed Ambrose, but he sold it anyway?
Yeah, I saw that. I thought it took a note about that, but I didn't.
Well, first off, Booker fucks it all up by going, "Oh, I got him square in the face with that kick." And then fucking Michael Cole and JBL, a few seconds afterwards, have left it the fucking stink of this move missing in the air. Then they're like, "Oh, I think he grazed him with his knee." All right, the moment that move happened, if Jim Ross was there, he'd be like, "Oh, he grazes him with a knee. Let's see if he can capitalize on it," or something like that. And
yeah, he didn't get all of it, but that might be enough still.
Yeah. Fucking
it's Christian.
For everyone that gets pissed, for everyone that actually the few people that go, "Oh, Michael Cole isn't that bad, you're too harsh on him." Well, tonight is an example of why Jim Ross is so much better.
And let's go off on the side note here for a second about commentators. Do you think any of these commentators that have an NXT could come up on the main roster sometime soon and possibly take one of these guys' spots?
The guys they got right now, no. Renee Young's the only one I'd be okay with. And that's taking Booker T's spot.
Yeah, don't give Corey Graves or Rich Brandon or any of the guys anytime soon. That's what they tried with Brian Saxton, and it didn't work.
Yeah, everyone's just like, who's the fucking creator wrestler?
They need to get a play-by-play, but they don't really have one of those right now. They have a lot of color commentators on NXT, but they do not. They really need to get a play-by-play because Byron Saxton is doing play-by-play on SmackDown, and he's just meh. And Todd Phillips doesn't really do that stuff anymore for the most part. So I don't know. Who do you think's the next play-by-play guy after Michael Cole, or is it someone that's not even on the roster yet?
Renee Young.
Renee Young's the most talented non-wrestling personality they have, by far.
Something I also want to note really quickly, they changed Eden's last name, but I don't know if this was a recent thing or if it happened a while ago.
Who?
She's been Eden Styles for a long time.
Eden Styles. I thought they were doing Eden Rhodes for a while, but
but now they don't want to draw attention to it. So
but now
the old name.
Yeah, she married AJ Styles. They're gonna do a whole duo. It's gonna be great.
Because then she would be Eden Dust, and it would be weird. I like this match, though. I thought that it was a good showing for both of the guys overall. Yeah, there were some botches and stuff, but, that happens. And in the end, Sami Zayn looks like a fucking star. John Cena looks better because he had a guy that wasn't just he beat the crap out of somebody that everybody likes and that kind of a thing. The Bret Hart stuff was fun. The Heath Slater thing was fun, too. That'd be amazing if they built this up and it ended up being Heath Slater to be the one that takes the U.S. title. But that won't ever happen. But this segment went a little bit too long beforehand because John Cena had to get that crowd back. And if he would have been able to do that faster, I think this would have been better because the commercial break wouldn't have screwed up the beginning of the match. That really kind of took it in the wrong direction. You don't start off a match and go oh my God, we're really excited to see this. But we're going to do a commercial. And when we come back, they're already in the middle of it. That is a little bit weird. But I liked it. I think a lot of people are going to think that this is going to go a long way for Sami Zayn. Maybe this will be one of those difference makers. You look at how the Ascension was brought up and they bombed. You look at how Neville was brought up, and he is kicking serious ass because they made him look like a star. Sami Zayn looked ridiculous tonight in a positive way. He came out and he got a better reaction than almost anybody in the entire roster.
Was I the only one that when they said a guy from Canada thought it was going to be Kevin Owens? Because I don't know why I thought that. I totally forgot that Sami Zayn was Canadian.
I thought it for a second, but then I was like, you know what? Bret Hart wouldn't be introducing him.
Yeah, maybe. By the way, Bret Hart was terrible tonight.
Oh yeah, it
I
took
think
way too long. He's like, it looked like he was having issues remembering the guy's name. Because,
I
like,
don't
he
even
said
think
introducing.
I don't think it was that. I think Kevin Dunn missed his cue to play Heath Slater's music
Oh, okay.
because he repeated himself.
It just came off awkward.
If it was Kevin Dunn's fault, go fuck yourself, you buck-tooth motherfucker.
And also, Ferris in the chat asks for the panel, if you get first pick in the fantasy draft this week, will you be picking up Sami Zayn? And that is not up to us because it depends on whether or not he's an official main member of the roster. I believe the rule is that you have to be on the main roster page on WWE.com for you to be eligible to be picked among everyone. So it really just depends on that. So, and Tony, I believe, is first in the waiver wire. So it really depends on if he's available and if he's an official main roster member because he's still wrestling in NXT with TakeOver coming up. So, Tony, would you be taking him?
If he's available, I
Yes.
probably would.
Because I remember you mentioning that
And who
he's
do you
not going to
think
be
you'd
there.
drop?
I don't even remember who the hell's on my team.
Well, they got to have it pulled up right now. Thank God this is the last part of Smack Talk, right?
I would probably drop Sin
That reminds me. Sin Cara and Kalisto were there tonight, which is a shame, but they had a lot of stuff on the show, so there's not really much that I would have taken out to replace
They've
them
not
with.
mentioned much about Daniel Bryan either.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of people thought that they would bring that up as they give us like an update at least when it comes to whether or not he would be wrestling coming up or whether or not they would be taking the title, which would lead me to believe that they're not going to take the title off of him if they haven't done it by now.
You
What do
know
you
what would be
guys think?
awesome if he starts doing the get well Randy thing, but do it for him. I don't know if you guys were watching at the time, but before Orton joined Evolution, he would do like interrupt important segments to give you his health update because he had a broken arm. Yeah, but that'd be okay if he did something like that. It'd be fucking sweet.
Instead, he's just going to hand out 5-hour power to people.
Oh yeah,
I'm okay
Which,
with
yeah,
it. I actually like that commercial.
it's weird to think that he would there's no way he takes 5-hour energy in real life with his strict diet that he does. That's the only thing I could complain about it, but I thought the commercial was good. So
No, he'd be
No,
like,
you
you
guys
get the
don't think
same
that-
effect by chewing on a eucalyptus leaf and snail guts and whatever. It's all natural, dude. Like,
It's like that wouldn't affect his condition. It's mainly certain like dairy products and shit that he can't do. Otherwise, his skin flares up.
So one more thing, do you guys think that they'll take the title off him if they haven't done it by now?
It depends if he's out too long. If it's longer than a month, probably.
I will answer that on this week's Smack Talk.
Moving on from that, we go backstage and we see the New Day celebrating still because this was a big win for them, and they were doing this throughout the night. I don't know if I mentioned it, but they were every time they were backstage, they were doing this sort of thing. But they go to commercial, they come back. Renee Young looks like he's about to do an interview with Sami Zayn, but the New Day interrupt them, start talking about how important this win was for them tonight, and then Kid and Cesaro and Natalia come up and they do a little one-off back and forth, a little funness. And any of you two have anything to say about this?
I fucking love New Day.
I love Xavier Woods tonight. Xavier Woods was on the top of his game. Like, he was just freaking out with it during it, and it was extremely funny for me. And I love the reaction he gave when Biggie just rudely interrupted him and started shouting over him. I thought that was fucking hilarious.
I like how he keeps holding the titles.
Yeah, that's what I don't get. He had the title around his waist, and he wasn't even in the match to win the titles at Extreme Rules. But anyways, moving on from that, we were supposed to have a match between, I believe, Nikki and Naomi, but the match never happened with Naomi and Tamina out of everyone coming out and attacking them. And then apparently this is what family is all about, as Naomi is related to Tamina through their marriage with the Uso. And I guess it makes sense. I don't really have much to say about this because Tamina has been pointless for so long now, and she was just a bodyguard for AJ. Is that what she's doing now? What do you guys think?
I thought this was awesome. It was a connection I totally forgot about, or never even thought about to begin with. So for them to pull this out, I'm all for it. That's great. It gives Naomi some extra muscle to combat the second Bella, and overall, I just like the direction of it. Tamina's a good hand in the ring, but ugly, but good hand.
I'm 100% behind this. This is awesome. Tamina on her own is pretty flat and boring. She doesn't have like a solid character to get behind. She isn't impressive on the mic. Like, she needs to be that kind of a role, and she's excelled in it in the past. But even better, bringing her with Naomi, because Naomi can now have tag matches with the Bella Twins and stuff. And if they're not going to get rid of the Bellas anytime soon, then they're going to be teaming up over and over and over again. And when you have somebody like Naomi on her own against the two of them, well, that's of course going to lead to what happened at Extreme Rules, where they were able to capitalize on that. Now that can't happen.
Yeah.
Before we go into our next segment, I invite everyone out there to call into the show via phone with the number being 713-955-0363, or you could call in via Skype by clicking the Skype logo at the top of the screen on the webpage that you're listening to us on.
Or the Skype logo.
After this, or the Skype logo. That's a very good point. Anyways, we come out next, and we have Barrett walking out, and pretty much what he was doing was saying that he is the ruler. This is his universe, and all hail King Barrett. That's really all I got out of all of that. Also, apparently he hates his robe, and he has a scepter, which I think is cool. But anyways, we had a tag team match. It was Neville and Dolph Ziggler versus Sheamus and King Barrett. Is that what he's officially going by now, as King Barrett?
He will, but for now, and it fits him. I just kind of I've gotten sad, but I don't get to hear, I'm afraid I've got some bad news. Because it was awesome.
King Bad News is a name that they should do. I don't know. It's
That
something
sounds
different.
terrible.
It's terrible, but it's different.
Does Neville fucking hate his cape? Like, every time he takes it off, he looks so fucking irritated with it.
This fucking thing, goddammit.
Like, when he looks
Why
at
can't
it,
gravity just forget you?
because it happens every time he enters. He tries to take it off without looking. He can't take it up without looking at it. So then he looks down at it really awkward. Frown, pulls his head back, and does some weird shimmy thing with his chin, and manages to unbuckle it. It's fucking awkward. It takes me out of his entrance every single time without fail. Like, he did it really cool once where his fucking cape went up in the air and it didn't come down. But ever since then, it sucked.
Well, to be fair, the reason why he was in the King of the Ring tournament, he just wanted the rope, so he got a new one. That's because he hates his rope. He thinks it's a piece of shit. He just wants a cool one, okay?
Like, can someone give this fucker... Can someone give this fucker some Velcro? Jesus Christ. Who thought having a button was a good idea for a high-paced, flashy guy? Fucking stupid.
But anyways, it was a simple tag team match. Not much to it. King Barrett, or Bad News Barrett and Sheamus, end up getting the win after Neville jumps off the top rope into the bull hammer. So not much to say. Do you guys have anything else on this?
Solid match. Everyone looked great in this. Keeps two feuds going. By the way, loving the amount of mid-card feuds that we're having right now. I think they're finally figuring out that they need to stop putting their stock only in the main event.
Also, something I want to bring up really quickly. Oh, go, Tony.
The disappointing thing about this, though, no implications for what's happening at Payback. Payback is happening next week, and we don't have a match for any of these guys. I don't want to see just a generic rematch with Ziggler and Sheamus. I don't want to see just a generic rematch between Neville and Barrett. They should have had something tonight, because whenever there is a pay-per-view and the week beforehand, like the go home show, is when they're announcing half their matches, that ends up looking really rushed. This pay-per-view is going to be a throwaway one to an extent, but they shouldn't book it like it is.
Just gonna say, all four of these guys need to be in the Money in the Bank. You can drag this feud out for a couple more months.
Yeah. Also, one more thing I want to bring up before we get into our main event of the evening. We had that something that the commentators kept unplugging throughout the night was the WWE 24 documentary with Roman Reigns. I'm not going to watch it. Do either of you have any interest in this?
I tend to watch most of their new documentaries because they're really good pieces, but I don't watch them in a rush. I'll be bored one day and go, sure, why not? By the way,
Finish, Wago.
Good job on them doing this. I think the only way to turn some of these smokes around is for them to see the real Roman Reigns behind the camera type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully this stops some of the stupid hate. I doubt it, but I can have some wishful thinking, right?
The real Leilani Kai, whatever his name is. I don't plan on really necessarily seeing it, but I probably will. It all depends on what the rest of the TV schedule and stuff is for the rest of the week, because a lot of times I'll put stuff on when I'm trying to go to sleep, and a couple hours later when I still haven't fallen asleep yet, I'll run out of material. So if that's the case, then maybe this will go on. But I'll tell you what I'm more excited to see is that E60 special.
Mm-hmm.
E50 was so much better.
I don't know. I like E58 the best.
Yeah, E59 really,
No, fuck you, Tony. That one sucked. Seriously, anyone who liked that one is a fucking tool, and that's what you are. Okay, seriously. No. Fuck you for laughing, because it's your own fault for thinking that one's the best one. Okay, 58's the best, and you're a dunce. And also, while I'm on this, fuck me for paying for the network when I could just get it for free each month. This just pisses me off that it's free for another month. That just fucking annoys me that they keep on doing this. I don't know. Do any of you guys care about this anymore? Or should we just grow to accept that the network is just going to be free forever and we don't need to pay for it?
It's only for new customers.
Yeah, but you could easily just like make a new account anyways each month because they have it for free each month.
No, you're not allowed to do that, and they can see your credit card details and be like, nope.
Yeah, but you'd have just, your name, your credit card, your address, like that kind of stuff that would tie it back and be like,
I don't
nah.
know. I don't know. I have a lot of card numbers. I could just come up with new ones each month. I'm just saying. But I'm sorry. That just annoys me that they keep on doing this free thing when there's people paying for it each month. That just annoys me. Other than that, that rant is over. Wago rants is where you need all your rants, so you could go to that. Wago will plug that one later in the evening, may I add. But now let's go to the main event. The main event was just a simple Reigns and Orton match. Not much to it. We've seen this match before, and it ends when Reigns goes for the pin and Kane interferes. Also, before J&J Security, Seth Rollins and Kane were at ringside, and Jamie Noble just randomly gets the microphone and says that the bell keeper is Joey Mercury, Kane is the special enforcer, and Seth Rollins is doing his commentary. And that was really about it. What do you guys think about this?
This was okay. So as soon as it got to almost 11 o'clock and it was still a tag match, I'm like, I wonder what fuck finish we're getting tonight. And this is the fuck finish we got. Not very happy with it, other than Dean Ambrose coming out on top.
Yeah, I don't care about main events anymore. It's really a shame. But Monday Night Raw has been really like the very beginning and the very end of almost every single episode for the past couple of years has been lackluster. So it's going to take a couple of really great ones to make me start paying attention.
Agreed about that one, and that really covers almost the whole show. One more thing I want to mention was, Dean Ambrose does look the best on top as an RKO to Reigns, and Dean Ambrose was standing tall at the end. He wasn't the one that gave the RKO, but you get what I'm getting at. So now we're gonna move on to the good, the bag, and bad. Ooh, the good, the bag.
The good, the bird, the urger.
The good, the bird, the urgly. And for those of you who want to participate in this, write in the chat your good, bad, and ugly, and I will say it out loud. So this is your time to tell me all the shit that you want to fucking tell me and tell me I'm a terrible host. So there you guys go. I am giving you this. So let's go.
This goes on so long.
Yeah, I know it does. And now we are going on to the good, the bad, and the ugly for tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw. We'll start out with Tony Mango, as Tony was the one who said on the top he really doesn't have an ugly. Let's see if that changes. Tony, what's up with you?
All right. There's a couple great things that happened tonight, and I would give credit to all of them as much as I could. The Rollins and Ambrose match was awesome. Tamina joining up with Naomi is a really good booking idea. I'm very, very glad that they did that. But if I gotta give my good to something that really stood out to me, that made me happy as a fan and stuff, it has to be from the very, very top of the show. Fucking New Day. Not only does Seth Rollins have your number, he has it on speed dial. Ah! That made me fucking crack up. It's so dumb. I love it. Fucking love it. The bad, it's going to be the way that the crowd treated Ryback. Thankfully, he's able to turn them around, get them to chant "Feed me more" instead of Goldberg. But what the fuck? The guy's been doing as good as he can. He is a funny fucking character, especially our version of him. And the Goldberg thing isn't even funny. Like, so he looks somewhat similar to him.
Yeah,
okay.
White, and
well, for starters, Ryback's a lot better wrestler than Goldberg ever was. Doesn't have the size that Goldberg has, but
he doesn't have the streak going on anymore, so that's not part of that. He doesn't do any of his fucking moves. It's really just, okay, I get it. You wanted to chant Goldberg 2.5 years ago, and now you're getting a chance to. Stupid. The ugly, I think I'm going to have to give it to the way that Bret Hart looks nowadays, because, God, he looks pretty rough.
At least he's like...
We're pretty butthurt about it.
At least he doesn't look as bad as he used to, where he had the fucking, his hair was fading into different colors and shit.
Yeah.
No matter what, when Bret Hart comes out in shorts, it's bad.
Uh-huh.
Well, thank God I didn't come out in shorts. I mean, especially the John Cena blue jean shorts, which he came out with at WrestleMania 26. I think that we don't want that Bret Hart anymore.
Match of the night.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's the year. Woo. Worse.
And now let's go to Wago as we hear his good, bad, and ugly. Take it away, Wago.
So, for my good, I'm going to have to just give it to the Dean Ambrose vs. Seth Rollins match. I tune into a wrestling show to watch wrestling, and this was an awesome match. Shitty ending, but the match makes up for it. As far as my bad goes, I'm tempted to give it to the commentary team because they hurt a lot of the spots that blew tonight. But that's still on the wrestler's fault. So for my bad, I'm going to have to give it to... Fuck it, the commentators are getting it anyway. There's a couple other ones things that I didn't like tonight, like some of the backstage segments, and those are just a lot of Blair moments. But the commentary team really pissed me off.
All right, and I'll do my good, bad, and ugly. Then I'll get to the chat rooms, as I said. Give us your good, bad, and ugly. But my
I didn't do an ugly.
Ooh, you don't have an ugly for this evening?
I didn't do one. I'm gonna give it to Tamina.
Oh, Tamina, because she's just ugly.
Yeah, she did a great job tonight, but shallow people. Woo.
That is true. But anyways, my good for the evening would definitely have to be Stardust and our truce spider phobia. There was a lot of good tonight, but that was just my favorite moment of the whole night. Just that made me laugh. My bad is just gonna have to be the commentators, just because the commentators. God damn it, I want new ones, and I'm not going to get them, and I know this, and I should just grow to accept that, but JBL ruins almost everything for me. And my ugly for the evening, I'm not going to have one, because, like I said, this was a very good episode of Raw, and I don't know if we will get like this every week. We definitely won't, but hopefully this will lead to a step up when it comes to other Raws. I know Wago mentioned that they might have blew their load on this Raw itself, but hopefully that's not the case, and like they have good stuff for us going forward. So good, bad, and ugly that I have from the chat room. We have the Silent Wind of Doom, and his good was the New Day and Ambrose getting good spotlight. The bad, Bray still not saying anything different. That is very true. It was pretty normal. And the ugly is Booker hurting my head by talking about the Bellas. Ascension better watch they back with his team. I don't get that, and that hurts my head too. So I feel for you, Show, or Doom in this case. So anyways, guys. Uh-oh. Apparently it went out. Hold on a sec. I don't know. Hang on a sec. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I am Tony Mango. Thanks for introducing me.
No, I'm trying to figure out. It's people in the chat saying that they can't hear. Oh, okay. Let's see. Can you guys hear us anymore? This is very strange. It's a very strange time here at Mega Powers Radio.
Silent Wind of Doom says we're back.
Okay, we're back. Anyways, so without anything else to do, unless you guys have anything else to give to us, let's go ahead and go to our plugs. We'll start with Wago. Wago?
As I mentioned before, I have a new episode of Wago Rants that went up today. It's available on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and on the YouTubes. So check that out. Also check out Addicted to Anime. It's a show that we do here on Mega Powers Radio. It's going to cover a few anime topics as well as Higurashi When They Cry. That's a fun anime. More info on that, go to facebook.com/addictedanimefans. And also check out UDMMA for all your MMA needs.
Tony Mango.
SmarkoutMoment.com. Go there for all the wrestling side of things. Check out Smack Talk, which you can find on iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube.com/SmarkoutMoment. Follow the All Talk Show on Facebook.com/All Talk Show to find out when we're going to do a live episode, and then we will do them on MegaPowersRadio.com. But if you can't catch that live, then you can find that on iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube.com/All Talk Show. And for FanboysAnonymous.com, all those podcasts, of course, and the articles and stuff you can find on that. And iTunes and Stitcher and YouTube.com/FanboysAnonymous.
And for these two, like I said, go check out these two guys' fine stuff. Like I said, I am also on Smart Talk as well, so you can check me out there, the leader of the Drew Crew. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at DrewSwiftWhite, and you can go to YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube page, which has nothing on it because you guys don't deserve anything, which is Make Frickin' Duncan. Also, check out everything else here at Mega Powers Radio. We have the Dace Man Show on Wednesdays. And the All Talk Show, like Tony says, which we pretty much do whenever we randomly decide to do it. Also, Addicted to Anime. When is that again? When go?
No official date until I finish watching the series.
And no official date. Well, wait, you just did one this past week, right?
No.
Nope. Well, fuck me for not paying attention at all. So anyways, that's all we have for today, guys. Unless you guys have anything else for us really quickly, that will be all for the show. So anyways, guys, it was a very great show, a very terrible show probably, and something that Paden will not be proud of in the past. But before we go, I got to go ahead and hit a few buttons because I am a spaz freak, so I have to hit some buttons. In this episode,
that is one big pile of shit.
Exactly. So anyways, that's it for the post show for Tony Mango, for Stephen Wago, and for Mike Paden, who said he was going to show up, but he hates you guys and decided not to show up and had me die along with the rest of the show. I am Drew White. This is the post show, and that is the truth, my friends. And we'll see you all next time here at Mega Powers Radio.